In our journey through life, we often find ourselves stuck in the flatlands, that busy, noisy, and sometimes exhausting routine of our daily obligations. We get so used to looking at the ground that we forget that there's a horizon. But every so often, we are called to something higher. And it's that something higher that I want to talk about with you today. Hi, I'm Howard, pastor of the Roseville New Church, and welcome to Spiritual Shorts. In Genesis 12, Abram is receiving a startling command. Leave your native country and go to the land that I will show you. This isn't just a move across a map. It's an invitation to leave our native habits of ego and fear and climb towards a higher perspective. In the Gospel of Matthew, the Lord takes Peter, James, and John up to a high mountain. And in the language of the soul, the symbolic language of the Bible, a mountain isn't just a pile of rock. It represents a state of elevation. It is that moment when we intentionally pull back from the world of the senses and lift our minds into a higher spiritual awareness. And there, something happens that we often dismiss as some mystery. The Lord is transformed. His face shines like the sun. His clothes become white as light. And we often think that the Transfiguration was something that happened to Jesus, a temporary supernatural spectacle. But the deeper truth is that the Lord didn't change. The disciples' eyes were opened. For a brief moment, the veil of their physical sight was pulled back, and they saw Him as He truly is, the divine human, the source of all light and life, the Lord. This is the heart of the Lenten journey. We think we're walking towards a God that is far away, but the Transfiguration reminds us that the divine glory is already here. It is simply veiled by our own lower nature. This story isn't just a mystery, it's a mirror. As we cooperate with the Lord in His work of regeneration, what Paul calls a right relationship in his letter to the Romans, we begin our own process of transfiguration. As we allow the Lord to refine our hearts, that same divine light begins to shine through us. When we choose kindness over a sharp word or integrity over an easy gain, our inner face begins to shine. We aren't earning our way to heaven. We are clearing the windows of our soul so that the light can finally pass through. And on that mountain, Moses and Elijah appeared. They represent the law and the prophets, the entirety of the Word. They were talking with the Lord and showing us that all ancient wisdom points towards one thing: the presence of love in human form. Peter was overwhelmed. He wanted to build shelters. He wanted to possess the moment, to stay in that spectacle. But a voice from the cloud interrupts. This is my dearly beloved Son. Listen to Him. The glory isn't something to capture or put in a box. It's a direction. We are told to listen because the light is meant to be followed back down into the valley. When the cloud clears, the disciples look up and they see only the Lord. That's our goal for this season of Lent, to move past the spectacles of religion and the weight of our own expectations until we see only the divine love in everything around us. And the psalm asks, I look up to the mountains. Does my help come from there? Yeah, it does. Your help comes from the elevation of your own soul. So this week, I invite you to climb your own mountain. Step away from the noise. Open your spiritual eyes. And remember, the light you see in the face of the Lord is the same light He's trying to unveil within you. May you find that the glory you seek is already standing beside you. God bless you. And thank you for joining me for this episode of Spiritual Shorts.